Hello everyone, and welcome to the Deep Blue Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deep Blue Renegade, and I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 167. Today is Saturday, January 28th, and I'm glad you could join me today. So I thought I was going to record tomorrow, but then plans changed, so I'm recording today. Yay! Because I was recording today, I wanted to finish something, so I did. So it's late, like 8:50. But such is life. And I'm wearing my fancy pants, which you probably can't tell the difference between my fancy pants and my yoga pants based on the resolution of the screen. But I swear, they're fancy pants today. It's so far. I don't know what I was thinking. I didn't have my glass, which is unfortunate. So, welcome everyone. It's actually entirely too warm for this hat, so I'm going to take it off, but yay, welcome. I know, I love this stinging hat. It goes with me everywhere, so wear it like it's going out of style. So, sort of I decided to just do it. So we'll grab what's waiting in this bag here, yonder, maybe. You can really surprise people with these things. So, turtle cozy. I swear I have another one somewhere. I guess I have no clue where it's lurking. Not that it matters. So this is my turtle cozy project. It is a design I'm putting together for a coworker to make his tortoise look like Bowser. And I've completed all of the spikes, but it doesn't appear that I'm holding any more in my hand than I was in previous weeks. But it appears that I sent the spikes home with my coworker and he tried them on his tortoise, and 4 is in fact too many. So we're probably going to do with 3 spikes in a row and 2 spikes in a row, so I in fact have too many spikes, but whatever. So the needed number of spikes was actually 7 and not 10. So we'll work through it, which then means I am working on the cozy part of the turtle cozy, which means making the appropriate shaped turtle cozy thing. So what I have going on right now looks like so. So it has some topography, but not a ton of topography, and I think I'm actually going to add another increase to make it a little bit pointier in this axis, but it is coming along nicely. I started one at midnight on Wednesday, and I screwed up my rate of increases. So instead of I was thinking I was increasing slower, but the way I was knitting it, it was actually decreasing slower, and it's just a hot mess. So I'm going to get this close to the right size, and then I'll probably just knit on around a couple of times and go from there. I'm not trying to make scoots or anything special like that. And I should have things growing at a certain rate that appropriately covers the turtle. And actually I'm a decent part of the way there, actually, bizarrely. So hopefully that this works out. But I think I needed to be a little bit more rounded in this axis here. So I'm gonna endeavor to do that. But still plenty of yarn, and I'll probably make something closer to flat for the bottom of the turtle. So we'll figure out whatever that. So to make something flat in the round like that, you need 10 increases. Every 2 rows or something like that. Like that's like the hat decrease rate. So that makes the top of the hat flush on your head for whatever reason. And the bottom of the tortoise is very flat, so I'll be doing that in the brown yarn to use it up. So that is going. It's right now living in my massive DFW Fiberfest bag. I recently washed it, so it's sort of crinkly looking, but that was because I think a cooler full of water spilled inside it in October, and I finally got around to making it clean again. So what's floating around at the top of my bag right now is the Out of Darkness shawl. This is a Bunitz pattern that I'm knitting out of Madeline Tosh Merino Light, which is lovely stuff. You can see the sparkles. Sparkles. Yay! And I'm definitely to the point now where the needle, or the cable that it's on, is a little bit too small, so I'll have to transfer over sometime soon. But it is coming along nicely. I put in another row of beads, and I probably have a few more rows before I need to put in the next round of beads. So I'm really happy with how these silver lined clear ones are looking. They have a nice sparkle to them, which I'm enjoying. And then it's just really pretty yarn, so you get a nice tonal look with the yarn as well. I don't think I'm near 200 or however many stitches I'm supposed to be. I think it's somewhere in the 200 ballpark before I start some sort of new pattern. I guess I haven't looked at the pattern recently. Details. But it has grown pretty nicely, so it doesn't seem like it's all too crazily big right now, but oh well. It was sort of the case where I was procrastinating a bit on it because the row I need to do is the beaded row, so that does slow you down, the beads. But did I talk about the super floss last week? I finally got super floss. I bit the bullet. Let's see if I can get the bag out. So I bit the bullet and did the super floss. Ooh, we have crochet hook trying to go through the bag. So I have been using the crochet hook, which you can't even see how stinking small it is. So this is a 1mm, which corresponds to 12. It is steel, it is tough, it punctures through things like nobody's business. And then I have my super floss, which for $3.50, I got 50. So this has a little plasticky bit. What is it? So this has a little plastic bit that I can use as a beater, and then the thick part holds my beads in place so that they're all obediently waiting for me. And then I sort of wound up the rest of it because I didn't need it. So I am liking this. It seems to be working out fairly well, but beads in any way you choose to do beads, it still takes time. So that is what I'm fighting, and that's terribly tangled down there. Oh, well. And then the last thing is my handspun socks. So this is the Enchanted Knowles Happy Hooves bat, that I spun into a 3-ply sock yarn. And then I'm knitting on US size zeros because I finally found a needle gauge to verify what needle I was actually using, because I don't actually own a needle gauge that can differentiate my zeros and double zeros. It only goes down to ones. And this is how far I am on the second sock. So I'm getting close. I'm getting very, very close to beginning the heel flap, but not quite. So there's still work for me to be done before it makes it that far. But it is coming along nicely. It's good mindless knitting. There might be slightly less mistakes in this leg than the other leg, but I was knitting this dementedly tired, so. And the nice thing is that hand spun is actually so rustic, because it was a bat and not top. So it's just sort of thick and thin and all over the place, even though it is really fine, because it was more than 500 yards for my skein. Oh dear, what dreadful things have I done? We'll at least get one of these untangled to the point where we can reach inside. Okay, so the ball is definitely hollowing out now, but it's still really big. There's a lot of yarn here. Crazy. It'll probably end up lost in my hand-spun bag of leftovers. It seems like it's going to be an awful lot left over. And it has this very subtle amount of sparkle, and it's like mostly greens, but then also blues and purples. But the green definitely, I would say, is the impression you get from afar, is that it's a green sock, even though we put it against the blue, maybe it looks very blue. I'm not sure. Oh well. So, it's coming along. It's been primarily what I've been working on, so it's a lot easier to knit than some things. And then I've just been keeping the other sock in the bag for comparison purposes. And it's my vanilla sock pattern, which is a 2x2 rib gusset, top down funness. And what I do need to do, probably after I'm done recording, is sit down and take pictures of things, because I'm not sure I have any pictures of my work, or I have very, very few pictures of my works in progress right now, so I'm not sure why. Maybe I'm waiting for better lighting and never use it, I'm not sure. It's a mystery, but I should have like at least one, so I can put it in a mostly fine cal thread, so we can talk about the sorts of projects that we're working on. Definitely the shawl. The shawl definitely counts for the cal. The socks, whatever. They might count for a different knit along. What is it? I think the one that they would count for is right now Sock Knitters is doing a stash cal, and what qualifies as stash is it's been in your stash for at least 30 days, and most of my, nearly all of my stash qualifies, so hey, I've only received fiber, hey! Or my only new stuff is fiber, and it's all from last week, still in a giant pile on the floor over there. There wasn't any time to do dyeing or such nonsense today, which is unfortunate, but I ended up volunteering this weekend, so or today, and so I had to look like a professional, which I decided to dress up more professional than normal because they had requests, and so if the we were helping out people who are going to be graduating from college soon, specifically engineers, and they all did be business formal, so they were in their suits and their blazers and looking classy, and they asked the volunteers to like just keep it at least business casual. So I'm like, oh crap, even business casual business isn't. It's more casual than business. So I had to wear my fancy pants and my company polo shirt, which you can't even see the polo shirt. See, got a collar. It's good. I covered it up with a scarf, which covered my name tag, so no one knew my name. Oh well. So I was reaching out to the kids. That's for fun. But you're wondering, I said I wanted to finish something. Yay! Look, it's a yarn baby. You see this really crazy one? That's what just came off the wheel. So, my Vorfruit spin is done. It is 6 2-ounce skeins of various colors that end up blending together really nicely. I took pictures on Instagram to spam everyone. And so But now it's just all crazy because two of these skeins haven't been washed yet. This one has been washed, so you can see it's all nice and drapey and lovely. And then we contrast this with that which I have pulled off the wheel gently, which is like boing, boing. This one's still pretty, it's chilled out a little bit in the week, but it's still pretty boing as well, so I need to get these washed tonight. But this is the one I finished, so this is the lighter blues and yellows. So it's turned out somewhere with like blues and greens in it. Now I'm trying to figure out a way to show you guys what that looks like, but it is dark and the lighting is terrible, and I feel like I'm letting you guys down. Focus. So this is Nest Fiber in the Boarfruit colorway. It's a Superwash Merino and Silk base. And I split it up into 6 different groups of colors, and then spun them end to end and 2-plied them. And you can see now that the colors end up blending together very nicely. You can almost not even, they blend together very well, so it sort of has this sort of muted rainbow look to it. I'll rejigger something. And I was just like taking pictures and then more pictures, and I was so excited. The plan is to knit a Viajante in, and then like stripe colors together. So it'll probably be the case where I'll need to mark out where the, or probably what I'll end up doing is weighing the skein or something like that, winding it, and then probably rewinding it, I think, and then marking out where I am weight-wise so that I'll know where the quarters are. So I'll probably do 1/4 and mark out where 1/4 and 3/4 are, so then I'll know when to start striping. Because I do want to have some color blending, so it'd be the case where the end skeins will, roughly speaking, probably be a little bit more continuous colored, but then the others will be more blended. So I'm really excited. It could even be color blocks, and that could also be gorgeous, but I think I want to blend them a little bit because I think that'll also be really pretty. So, but I first need to wash these skeins and get them dry, and then be like, wee! Or maybe I'll have to finish something, like the socks, and then go, wee! Like, so much excitement. But 12 ounces is a lot, it's a big spin. What would that be? Like, look, it's so much yarn. So really happy with how this turned out. I think it's going to be super duper gorgeous. And I think it captures everything really nicely. So I'll be building my own gradient. Would I do the same technique again? Probably. This one, it seemed to be a really good candidate for it because I think, it lent itself well into putting into 6 different groups. And it was pretty much about 2 ounces per group anyway, so that was pretty cool. I don't know, I'm just really happy with this last skein and how it ended up being this lovely sort of like a seaside sort of color, so with the blues and the yellows, and then when they sort of blend together it makes a green of sorts. So I thought that was really pretty. And what was it? It'd be the case where the singles had no, like it seemed like the singles almost had no bearing on how the plied yarn turned out. So it was also fascinating to see, even though my singles had like shorter repeats of color, everything blended together really well when I plied it. And I used slightly different plying techniques depending on the yarn or depending on the one. So my magenta one, I actually did a lot of combo spinning on because I had light bits and dark bits and I wanted to blend them together really well. And I'm really pleased with how that had turned out. But I'm not sure it was too much different than the other ones aside from the fact that it's probably smoothed out the value. And that was, I think, the big thing there. But I didn't do too much craziness trying to manage all the colors on the other ones. I was just like, spin it up, see how it turns out. And it was fine. I probably should have, like, the magenta one I did need to be worried about, or the pinky one. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what color you call it. But the other ones were all about the same dye value. It was just the case where the magenta and my original bump was super dark, and the ones I got in D-Stash were not. They were super light. So I think I managed to smooth everything out in a lovely way. So I'm just really pleased with how this turned out. So that means that I can start my bin. Yay! So nothing's on the wheel right now because I just got this off. It needs to be washed and all of that other fun stuff, but yay! I can get on track. And so there's some options. So I'm sort of torn right now. I could do one of these guys because right now, in Complete Just Arbitrary, we're having a catch-up sale. And this is going on through the end of March. And so these are spin-along fibers that I bought because I couldn't possibly, like, they were just too gorgeous to not pass up. And this one, this pansy is really sort of out of my normal color range, so that's fascinating to me. It's Buddy turned into the finest yarn I've ever spun, so this one might take a while. The other guy, the Three Waters Farms, is the BFL, I do believe. And I wanted to try a different method of spinning for sock yarn with this guy. So, options. And then the other option is the Summer Sweater Spin, which I'm also tremendously excited about. But it's also Nest Superwash Merino and Silk. I'm assuming it's a 40-40-20, but Jen doesn't put it on her label. She'll answer if you ask her, but she doesn't write it on her label. And I've been trying to figure out how I want to combine them, because I want to knit a breathing space, which calls for fingering wet yarn. But do I want to make a 3-ply fingering? That is the question. And if I do I want to do a combo spin? Because the other Complete Just Arbitrary spin is a combo style. So I could take this fiber and this fiber and make some sort of crazy combo yarn with it. Or split it into thirds and have, and then do something like where 2/3 of it go into a single and 2/3 of this go into a single, and then I combo a third from this and a third from that into some crazy yarn. I could try to spread this one out amongst all of the other colors, but I realized this didn't quite add up in my head, or that I would need to make a 4-ply, and that didn't seem like a good idea. But I think I want a 3-ply fingering, which would be like spinning duplicate lace for me. So I don't know, or if that would properly meld everything together appropriately. And that is my spin the bin anyway, so it's all sorts of fantastic synergy of things. and then have all of my red fiber here, which is 8 ounces. It's really crammed in there. Just be a normal spin. That's fine. And just have it be red and gorgeous, and then have this one be blue and multicolored, and but I don't know. Or if I wanted to do something where I mixed, where I did a plying sort of thing, where I spun this as singles and spun this as singles, and then had 2 plies red and 1 of this. That might be, it could be a safer bet, all things considered. And then I would have my multicolored sort of spread gently about the sweater, and then, no, that doesn't work, I don't think, because then I wouldn't have enough blue. I'm full of crazy ideas. So, because then that would be 12 ounces of this and 4 ounces of the blue. Yeah, no, I think it needs to be slightly different. So that's what I've been puzzling over right now, is just what am I going to do? Or I just spread it all around, I don't know. I've been puzzling. Perhaps this puzzling just makes it more challenging to decide. And then I have other things, but they're not quite percolated high enough on the excitement list. Yeah. Such is life. They excite me. Just not right now. Because what would it be? It would be, say for example, nice to be able to spin the fiber I got at Fiberfest last year, before Fiberfest, but that's just good intentions, you know. It doesn't need to be. And honestly, I probably need to buy a different thing to go with it, or ask around, figure out what's what. Because I got these cones of cotton, but I don't think I actually want the cotton. I think cotton isn't going to have the right grab for making core spun, or my soft core yarn. So I need some like fuzzy, fluffy, furry wool on a cone. And there are places where you can order yarn on cones, and I don't know why I didn't find wool on cones instead of getting cotton on cones. So it's for hand loom rugs. I feel like that I have no need to become a rug maker, so I'm not sure what I was thinking. And like, they're not saying that it's color fast. They're like, oh, why did I put myself in this situation? They're gonna be too slick. So, oh, it won't be the end of the world. I'll just keep that in mind for the future. It wasn't like I spent a ton of money on them either, so it's not a big deal there. I'll figure something out, but for now, it is a mystery. Well, at least one of these probably is a little bit more grabby, but even then, it's not crazy. It was 800 yards, so oh well. So that's been, I think I need some Zephyr. So, what is that? I think I do. But that's the story there. I have all sorts of pretties on the floor though. Like the only other one that may percolate is this guy, which I may end up spinning in the same way, or a similar way as to what I did this, and break it into super big color blocks so that I can combine it with that yarn sitting there for a ridiculously colored shawl. The thought being that I have one that's like a fractal 3-ply, I have another one which is an end-to-end net end ply, and then I would have this one which should be made into a gradient. And they all have very similar colors to them, so I think it could be really cool. They totally go together. And then showcasing all of those different types of spinning, like it just really hits me in the spinning nerd. So, so that's sort of where I'm like, wow, all over the place, but such is life. Not too much you can do about it. I am celebrating Chinese New Year tomorrow. I thought I was celebrating it today, which is why I didn't think I was going to record today. But now I can't record tomorrow, so it had to be today. And I'm very excited about my merino silk. It's going to be fabulous. And slightly, like a little bit out of my normal color palette, so like I don't normally gravitate towards the yellows and browns, but it works together somehow magically. So I wouldn't have bought individual skeins in these colors. I probably would have only bought the light blue and the dark blue and maybe the magenta, burgundy-ish, what have you color. So it's an adventure. I have not knit things in all of those colors before. And I'd like to thank everyone who is participating in the A Mostly Fine Cow. As I mentioned earlier, I do need to take pictures to continue percolating the chapter. But that's normal cow management for you. But, what is it? Feel free to keep posting your pictures, because it's always fun to be like, squee, yay! It's whatever. That's the part that I really enjoy about it. So, and if you're thinking about joining in, there's tons of time. It's going till the 31st of March, and I've backdated it to the 1st of January, so anything you start in the new year, good to go. Just has to be fingering weight or finer. If I want to start this project, then that's finer. That'll be delightful mindless knitting. That'll be the perfect knitting for nonlinear dynamics. Run. I was also excited because I decided to put myself on the wait list for every single available Judith Mackenzie class for Fiberfest. Because I figured, you know what? I've talked with other people about it, and it's like, it's an experience. Just go, and it'll be magical. And so I do have one, but I would have preferred more. And I did put myself on the wait list for the one I really wanted to take, but was sold out by the time I finally registered 3 hours later. Texas Spinners, where are you hiding? Why don't I know you? Like, are you too far away? But they were all over that, and I guess I wasn't with it. But I decided to put myself on the wait list for the other ones, and I'll swing the day off if I need to take it. The one I'm taking is a Sunday afternoon one, so I didn't want to do the Sunday afternoon, but whatever, because that was a lot of days of Fiberfest. Like, you can have too much knitting in a weekend, it's possible. And then they also announced the vendor list, so I was excited. One that has never come before is actually White Birch Fiber Arts, so that'll be some gorgeous self-striping. And then a lot of the old favorites that I've had in the past, so it might be the case where I decide to try to cast on one of my mustache skeins, which is basically back, yay! Or if I want to start my Simply Stunning String Shawl. And fun fact, it's the guy who dies and the woman who designs, so Wild Prairie Knits. So it's interesting. It's a different way, and what is it? I think they have some pretty good synergy. So and it's so reasonable. Oh my gosh. And gorgeous semi-solid colors. So very cool. Would it be? But I don't know. I'm just full of excitement. Oh, and fiber optic. So, yay! So, as you guys know, I do love me some fiber optic. And honestly, I'd probably buy some yarn. I know. But I guess what is it? I've been pondering about doing the NRA myself, and so then that would require a gradient. I think I just like to buy the gradient. Like, spending the gradient was fun, but I think I just want to buy one. You know what I mean? So, and I know Kimber has some. She dyes the super saturated colors of my heart. So, guys, totally get that. You know, like when you just walk into it, it's like, all. I just want it all. That's like a thing for string and fiber optic. It's just like everything. I don't care. It's all perfect. But such is life. Like I get the nest because it's like sometimes actually out of my comfort zone, but it's still fabulous. You know what I mean? So yeah. But other things are like heart of my heart. So I should be able to record next week. It will probably be on the Saturday, I'm assuming. I don't know, we'll hope for it. We'll hope for daytime knitting, or daytime recording. That would be even better. But I want to be done. I feel like it's done. I'm starting something new, and then discuss it on the podcast all confused. Like full of indecision. And I hope you guys all have a really lovely week, and I look forward to talking to you guys next week. So take care, guys. Bye-bye.